Donald Trump's situation with South Africa just got even worse, and the global consequences are far bigger than they appear. In this video, we're going to break down the latest chapter in the United States-South Africa saga, including a clear look at Trump's new aggressive and threatening Truth Social post. We will unpack the political spin surrounding this story and reveal why this moment is pivotal for the entire continent of Africa. If you believe in Africa rising to its full potential and ending Western neocolonial influence throughout the continent, then this video is for you. If you don't know me, my name is TJ, I'm Nigerian and British mixed, and on this channel, we talk about African geopolitics. So following the end of the G20 summit just a couple of days ago, and South Africa's decision not to hand over the G20 presidency in the usual ceremonial manner, Donald Trump took to Truth Social with a childish tit-for-tat response. Here's what he said. The United States did not attend the G20 in South Africa because the South African government refuses to acknowledge or address the horrific human rights abuses endured by Afrikaners and other descendants of Dutch, French, and German settlers. To put it more bluntly, they are killing white people and forcibly allowing their farms to be taken from them. Perhaps worst of all, the soon-to-be out-of-business New York Times and the fake news media will not issue a word against this genocide. That is why all liars and pretenders of radical left media are going out of business. At the conclusion of the G20, South Africa refused to hand off the G20 presidency to a senior representative from our US embassy who attended the closing ceremony. Therefore, at my direction, South Africa will not be receiving an invitation to the 2026 G20, which will be hosted in the great city of Miami, Florida next year. South Africa has demonstrated to the world they are not a country worthy of membership anywhere, and we are going to stop all payments and subsidies to them effective immediately. Thank you for your attention on this matter. See, many of you following this story already knows that Donald Trump boycotted the G20 summit hosted in South Africa just a few days ago. When the moment came for the ceremonial handover to the United States, South Africa did not proceed because Donald Trump had refused to attend. Instead of responding with diplomacy, Trump reacted with anger. His new Truth Social post, his threats, and his attempt to punish South Africa show how personal and petty his approach has become. It is driven by emotion and misinformation, not real policy. Many of you have dropped comments asking how you can support this channel, even offering to donate or help financially. Until recently, I had no way to make this possible, but now through my Substack, it's never been easier for you to lend me some support. There's a free tier where you'll get one email per week, and for just $5 a month, about the price of a nice coffee, you'll receive a daily written update from all of my content, everything I produce. I'll be engaging with those of you who join, asking your thoughts on how to serve you and the continent better. Sometimes my videos do get demonetized, and there's also a small chance, as we saw with the platform Africa stream, that a channel like this could be deplatformed. Even if the worst happens, we can regroup, rebuild, and keep pushing forward. We don't want any third party controlling this message, so with email backing us up, we can communicate directly. Thank you in advance for signing up. I look forward to connecting with you, not just on YouTube, but via email as well. Those images were later proven to be unrelated to South Africa or entirely fabricated. This moment alone exposes the ridiculous hypocrisy in Trump's claims about fake news. In his post, he attacked the New York Times and the media for not reporting truthfully. Yet he ambushed Ramaphosa in the White House with information so false and so easily debunked that many would just call it a flat-out lie. It was not clever, it was not sophisticated, and it was an attempt to spin the narrative. It was crude misinformation presented on a world stage by a country that has the greatest access to information the world has ever seen. Ramaphosa rejected the claims and reminded Trump that there was no genocide taking place. But at the time, I was critical of Ramaphosa because he did not face that moment with a stern enough rejection. And we all know what happens when you don't confront a bully directly. They come back again, emboldened to continue. So what happened next? Trump escalated the situation with threats of a 50% tariff on BRICS nations, including South Africa. He went on to boycott the G20 summit hosted in Johannesburg, each step increasing the pressure on South Africa while promoting the same false narrative. The White House confrontation and the boycott show a clear pattern. Trump uses a racially charged narrative to justify hostile diplomatic decisions. He calls South Africa out as corrupt and dangerous while ignoring the real context. He punishes South Africa for standing firm against misinformation, and he uses international platforms to amplify a message that is not based in any evidence. This brings us to the deeper implication. Trump is bullying South Africa. When a bully attacks someone weaker, the goal is not only to harm that person, the goal is to send a message to everyone else watching. Trump knows African presidents are watching. He knows BRICS partners are watching. He is using South Africa as an example, a warning to any African nation that might challenge his worldview or refuse to bend to his political narratives. The message is simple. If you resist, we will punish you. This is exactly why this moment matters for the entire continent. If one African nation is targeted and isolated without consequences, it sets a precedent for how others may be treated. It opens the door for more pressure, more threats, and more attempts to manipulate African politics through fear. That is why Africa needs unity in this moment. A unified response would show South Africa is not alone. The continent holds some of the world's most valuable minerals, minerals that the United States desperately needs, specifically right now in light of the rare earth crisis that it finds itself in with China. If African nations chose to act together, they could do something like state that no critical minerals will be exported to the United States until South Africa is treated fairly. It could insist that the United States military bases on African soil must be reevaluated and removed. They could publicly state that Trump is singling out an African nation and that his actions carry racial undertones that Africa will not tolerate. Imagine the kind of global impact these actions could have. It would shake the world to its core, and every media outlet would report it. It would demonstrate a powerful and united African position. It would be an unmistakable display of confidence that could reshape future trade, diplomatic relations, and global negotiations, not only with the United States, but with every major power going forward. These are simple, powerful examples of what a unified African continent could do when faced with humiliation or disrespect. But I'm not naive to the consequences of such actions. There almost certainly would be serious implications for such actions. However, the continent must be willing to endure temporary hardship for long-term fairness and an end to the Western bullying, which takes many forms, including but not limited to this saga unfolding right now. Every parent knows that the only way to deal with the bully is to stand firm and fight back. That means that you may receive some bumps along the way. Africa is now being shown very clearly that unless it acts under one command, with one voice, its individual nations can be targeted and punished individually. This moment, while tense, is revealing. It also shows the strength that Africa could have if it chose unity not as a slogan, but as a strategy. The West, especially the United States, is not ready to give up its global dominance, and the symbolism of a Black South African chairing the G20 was a reminder of the world that is coming. It's inevitable. It was a moment of pride for the continent and a moment that some in the Western hegemony simply could not accept. The situation is not about South Africa. It's about the future of African diplomacy itself, African confidence and African power on a global stage. This moment is actually an opportunity for Africa to gain ground and offer a counter example to the one Trump is trying to create with South Africa right now. The example Africa could set is simple. Lay the cards on the table. Show the world what Africa truly holds in minerals and arable land. The world would struggle without Africa. Many Western countries would find it difficult to maintain their standard of living without what Africa provides. A little respect, gratitude, and fair partnership is long overdue. Don't you agree? You see, this is a rallying cry to the leaders of Africa to take this opportunity with both hands and lead the continent into a destiny and potential we all know it deserves. I would love to know what you guys think out there. I'm sure you have many thoughts. Please feel free to put them in the comments section. I like to see what you guys have to say. But if you have nothing to say, would it be too much if I asked you to write the words "defend African sovereignty" in the comments section? It just lets me know that you watched the video to the end, you support the message, you like the channel, and you want me to continue. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.